существующее. Сегодня у нас есть возможность услышать все об этом, и две замечательные женщины поделятся с вами своим замечательным опытом, из которого просто я советую ни одной секунды и ни одного мгновения не упустить. Джилл Линдеман, Джейн Уокер, BBC Broadcast, город Лондон, Великобритания.
Всем привет! And Shiva, thank you very much for coming. That took a lot of effort, actually. I'm very nervous about that part. We're delighted to be here, and this is our first trip to Moscow. It's actually our first trip to Russia, and so far what we've seen is lovely. I don't think, though, that we'll complain back in London about the cold ever again, though it's honestly not as bad as I thought it would be. Though I'm sure in January and February I might think differently. Anyway, we hope everybody had a good, quick lunch. Sorry to have cut that a little bit short, and I hope you're ready to get back to Promax's day here. Oh, really quickly, I wanted to say that please, we want to encourage questions at the end of this. So if you want to jot down any questions you have while we're presenting, we'll at the end we'll ask, we'll turn the microphones over to the floor, and hopefully we can answer any questions you might have.
So in this morning's session, Harman led us through 32 questions to ask yourself in order to effectively develop and create any brand. The first question, very importantly, was about knowing who you are. So first and foremost, we want to be clear in communicating to you who we are.
So many people are confused that when we say that we're an independent commercial business that's been running for the last 3 years. It's understandable confusion. BBC is one of the more well-known public broadcasters in the world, and BBC is also in our name. While this can be confusing until explained, it is the core of our strength because our aim is to make our wide range of strategic and creative skills that we refine within the BBC, available to clients outside the BBC as well. We're a new kind of creative agency with an incredibly strong strategic, creative, and managerial foundations, significantly differentiating ourselves from our colleagues. This is important and attractive for our clients because we understand television inside and out. From client management to project management, from strategic development to creative execution, we have the ability to wear both hats of an agency and broadcaster.
This wide understanding and knowledge is important to us and positively influences the way we work. We believe in effective and agile processes, and those questions this morning that Sheil, Andrew and Harman took us through were about achieving a successful process. And that's a successful project, a successful launch, and a successful brand for now and the future.
So what we want to do is take this a step further and share with you some of the case studies of work that exemplify this. From these examples, you will really get a sense as to how different each project can be, depending on the type of project, the size of channel, the sophistication in technology, culture, even who owns the channel, meaning there are many different politics that can come into play. To us, these are new and very exciting challenges. And even with all these differing factors, the fundamental principles of process hold true.
So let's get started. One of the first projects that we worked on as a commercially independent company was NOS in Holland. And what made NOS interesting for us is that they're very much like the BBC really. They're a public service broadcaster in Holland, representing the whole of the Dutch population, their regions, religion, cultures. They are a broadcaster of all genres, all types of programming, having to appeal literally to everyone, as we had this morning. That's a very difficult thing to do. Making their target audience as broad as it can be. So they're funded completely by the licence fee payers, but the way the fees are spent is determined by the public. Very democratic place, Holland. This can be extremely interesting and a very confusing point to make. To put it simply,
done their homework. They'd done their homework well. NOS knew who they were, and they were able to communicate that very clearly to us. They really understood their audience and the beliefs and values of the Dutch people. NOS knew what they wanted by rebranding. Their mission was clear: to strengthen the channel's position in an increasingly competitive marketplace. And overall, the pitch process was well organized, extremely democratic, as Jane said. So at the end of the day, when we won the pitch, everyone was behind us and behind the concept chosen.
The client being as organised as they were enabled us to concentrate on the creative strategy and our conceptual development. Our strategy was very much about taking the channel out to the people, and our concept stemmed directly from that. We called our concept Head and Heart because we knew that the Dutch have a love of design and a love of art. In fact, we discovered when we were working with them that every time they commission a new building, they commission an artist to produce a sculpture to sit outside that building and it sits in the public domain. So for us, that was the head. The heart was very much the people of Holland. So what we did was we took our inspiration from this concept and took the logo that existed with NOS, turned it into a sculpture, and we took that sculpture around the country, we filmed it on location amidst people going about their everyday business. In the run-up to the launch, we talked to lots of local newspapers, and so articles appeared in every local newspaper from every area that we filmed, featuring the shoot and what we were doing with the rebrand. It was on a very accessible level for the whole population, effectively really communicating what NOS's message was. And you just can't buy that kind of publicity, you can't buy that kind of PR. So it generated a massive amount of interest, raised the profile of the channel even before it launched. So it was a great idea, it was a very simple idea, but it wasn't quite so simple to produce. The sculpture was over 25 feet tall, and it was made in the UK of very heavy metal. It was made in 3 pieces so that it could be dismantled and loaded into a van. But it still took 5 people to carry it, and it was taken on the ferry across the channel and driven around the country to 15 different locations where it had to be dismantled and then loaded back in the van and driven off to the next location. Luckily, we worked very closely with the guys at NOS who helped us find locations and extras. I think the sculpture now sits in the grounds of the media village in Pelham, which is NOS's headquarters. The toolkit was much lighter and it was much easier for the NOS team to implement. We adopted a more graphic approach for the toolkit and all the audio promotional material. And we will take
op scherp. Onze gasten, Marcel van Tilt en wij spelen zo dadelijk het spelletje 10 voor taal, na de reclame.
Just to comment, Harvey spoke this morning about sound, and we carefully crafted that melodic sound then so that wherever you were in the house, you would hear that sound and my way well too much. So whenever you heard that sound, you knew it was MOS, it's a very important part of the brand. Sound does have music particularly has a very emotional engagement with people, so that's really important. I'll sort you right.
Yeah, it's here. So Channel 33 in Dubai was very different. Channel 33 was the first English channel launched in Dubai back in 1978. Primarily, it's a family entertainment channel offering a wide variety of programming. Channel 33 was launched to complement the other 3 of Dubai Television's channel offerings. And it's worth noting that we didn't pitch on this project. We had an established relationship with Dubai TV, with Dubai TV when we helped launch their business channel. And they were very happy with the work that we had done and considered us a creative partner in the development of their latest channel launch. Channel 33 knew that they needed to launch with a cosmopolitan feel while still someone knocking, while still respecting and preserving Arab culture. Sorry, anyway, it was important for us to it always sounds like I'm pounding my chest, but I'm not. It was important for us not just to be sympathetic to the cultural considerations. I don't know.
I'll chat. Is it those? Who's that?
We just try that.
I don't think that anyway.
Alright, well, I'm going to repeat. They knew they didn't launch with a cosmopolitan feel, but we still needed to respect and preserve the Arab culture. It was important for us not to... the individuality of boxing, but maintain that brand consistency with BBC Sport. As well as a consistent information system, we have a couple of slides that kind of just quickly show how the information system works. And then we've got the quick time. We have one more quick time that we want to insert here. That really quickly before we start.
Just on this whole subject of maintaining an umbrella brand consistency, but allowing the individual programs to have their own personality, and flagship programs like Grandstand are very important to the output of sport. So just wanted to show you an example of a title that was created with the really strong sports brand iconic at the end of it. So quick time, please.
Really quickly with that, you can see that we created a very individual
proof of its success really is that everybody that
goals from Arsenal and Manchester City are capitalising on the game so far as all the Gunners are concerned. Let's take a look at the scores in the Barclaycard Premiership as they are at the moment, and you can see that Arsenal had a crushing victory at Main Road this afternoon. Let's get the details immediately now of Arsenal. They're going to go 5 points clear in the Premiership title race.
The core strategy for the launch was to build awareness to inspire you. That was a great style, needed to be cheery, it needed to be... The channel is comprised primarily of
only the best of British. UK Gold is special. UK Gold emits a golden light that bathes everyone.
They're a very small run.
UK G2 brings together a carefully chosen mix of comedy and drama that have a uniquely British sardonic bending the rules rather than breaking them. Those free moments among 30-something people who took it upon ourselves to make absolutely certain that G2 had a visual connection to
living bedroom. It's very nightmare-y. And there's a little view out the window, which of course you can see deep grays.
on world history programming with us at BBC Broadcast. UK TV did their homework.
Executions. Here's a still here from, I think it's the Hannibal film with Anthony Hopkins, and it just shows the idea of lots of details coming together to form a bigger picture. Now, this is not how the identity ended up, but we felt that this expressed the concept that we were trying to communicate, everything coming together, all the detail to form the richness and a bigger picture. This is actually the storyboard, and I was just amazed when I looked at it. We were looking at it the other day, and it's so close to the finished product. So we were really pleased that we managed to take this idea and make it move. You'll see in a minute. The concept that went into research was page-turning history, and it kind of went into several research groups across the country, and it was determined that this positioning, this strategic, was absolutely spot on for the target audience because it made them feel clever. The idea of page turning is something that's compulsive, something that you don't want to put down because it's so interesting, and also our execution takes this thought of details together, as you will see on the side of the page, coming together to form a bigger picture. So once we agreed the creative direction, we worked on the storyboards, also how the idea would translate to other media. And here's a couple of examples of how the brochures, the channel cards as we call them, ended up. The client was always available for key approval or direction times, and that always included the relevant decision makers. We worked closely with the team, very closely, to help them implement it on air, and we continue to consult with them on junction flow now. The brand concept also translated really well into a series of promos, which you will see at the end of the tape. And we were really pleased and proud that UK History was voted New Channel of the Year at the Edinburgh Festival this year. Can we all take, please?
But the eating habits of the Earl of Sandwich live on. UK history. Why we are who we are. We've all got it in us. It came across the Dover Strait in May 1940. It came in 861 small ships, lifeboats, and salt-stained trawlers. It steered for the side of the guns and rescued over 200,000 British troops. Dunkirk spirit. It's stayed with us ever since. UK history, why we are who we are. Modern superstition says it's unlucky to take the third light from a match. This comes from the trenches of the First World War. Enemy snipers would be alerted by the first light. Take aim on the second, and fire on the third. Bad luck indeed. UK history, why we are who we are.
Just really quickly, you can kind of see how the on-air promotion, the concept of the on-air promotion being about details coming together to form history, and the graphic execution of that, which was about details coming together to form history. It worked really well together as a cohesive overall branding, and we're very happy to be a part of it. There was one other point I wanted to make on that, which was